you made me remember something that the first three bucks that I shot, the first three deer, 2 bucks and a doe, were with I don't even know the manufacturer. It was an old, really old double barrel 16 gauge that was my dad's, and it was a real piece of junk. And at that time we were farmers, and I didn't have a ton of money. I spent most of my money on dirt bikes and things like that, and some other activities I was involved in. And so I carried that old one single bead on the end with slugs, Foster slugs, and it was probably dangerous, to be completely honest. Now that I look back, I'm not even sure it was ever designed for any of that. But I I shot those bucks that way with that gun, because I was already a pretty good woodsman, because almost all of my time that I spent in my youth was outside because my home life wasn't good. So I escaped to the woods. And me and Bob Dunbar, the other team member, one of our other team members, we grew up that way. And so here's a situation where we were very familiar with the land, thousands of acres of farm country, and what I call little big woods, 500-acre lots of woods, some of it logged, some of it not, and really beautiful country on the Hudson River in New York. Um, and the gun didn't matter. It just didn't matter. And but here's what's interesting. When you start tracking in the big woods, the margin of error for everything gets smaller and smaller. It gets really, it's just more difficult. So my period from those early days of being a good woodsman in farm country and then learning the tracking art in the big woods, it was a different game. And I had to find a gun that would work there. It had to fit, and it had to be an adequate gun. But now it's interesting because me and my son were talking. I feel like I could go back out into even the big woods with that old shotgun and probably make it work. If I had snow, I probably could because I'm getting close enough to the deer and I have that confidence. So now it doesn't matter as much about the gun. Now, I, of course, give myself every advantage by picking the gun that I like the most, and that fits me. But there is a certain truth about it's the hunter, and not so much the arrow itself. It's more the hunter, especially when you're talking that sort of close encounter with deer. You don't necessarily have to be as accurate as you might have to if it's 150-yard shot. So just kind of a funny thought about how I've learned and evolved through the last 40 years of hunting.
If you like that, make sure you check out bigwoodsbucks.com for more contests.
And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter.